Ah, yes.
They added one for
Nothing
the
happened.
camera. It's fine. Don't
Nothing
worry about
happened.
it.
We're not stupid. It's fine.
He's not a professional streamer. I'm not a professional streamer. Who needs them? It's fine.
Well,
The little innocent face that looked back at me was funny. Oh yeah, I should actually promote the Discord. Thank you, Trevor, for being such a good secretary.
Yes, very much. Yes, throw it in his DMs.
Shut up!
We're fine.
Very well prepared.
We're good at this. You're doing your job now. Well,
don't actually have to change.
Hey, pay me. Yeah, sure. Come over. We got brownies for you.
Yes. Now that's a memory, isn't it? Come over. We have brownies.
Yeah.
See, at least someone with a brain cell.
Don't.
No, we're not sending the brownies. Come
Not
on.
again.
I will pay you in brownies.
We had one that was an envelope.
Yes. No, that was a cake, but yes.
It's close enough. Sag.
Where's the rest?
That is the rest.
No, this is the wrong message.
Well,
Delete.
forget about that one.
Delete. I need this one.
Ah, yes.
It's like, why is this not working? Also, I like how Apple's phone is like, hey, by the way, there's something happening in this Discord.
Yeah, you think?
There we go. All set. Very well prepared.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy. Technical issues.
We do our best. And our best is not the best.
Effort has been made. It's fine.
Yes. We tried.
So, how's everyone doing?
Yes. How is everyone?
How are you?
I'm sleepy.
That's fair.
But mostly alright. I'm in a positive space, but I am sleepy.
That's fair. It's your best. It's all good. Doing alright. Doing alright.
Good.
Fair enough.
Very nice.
I'm alright.
Good.
Let's leave it there.
Everyone is alright.
Everyone's alright. But yeah, it's fair that you're tired. You only had like 6 hours of sleep.
Yeah.
It was fun though. It was a good conversation and fun before. It was good.
I wouldn't trade it for more sleep.
Good.
Because I doubt I'll get more rest out of it.
I would have actually, when your alarm went off, I would have just let you fall back asleep if you wanted to. But you actually got up really fast.
Yeah.
I think both me and Apple were like, oh, okay. Good morning.
Yeah, I had the sun in my face.
That's fair. It was very unexpected, yes.
But yeah.
I am more that way.
There you go. That's better.
Yeah, but I was also with my foot more out to you against you. Poking.
Bit.
How dare you?
How fucking dare you?
Now, I wonder if we should wait for a minute for people to come in. Because not like last time, there's no one here. No!
The movement I made reminded me of yesterday. Is the, what you gonna do?
Yeah.
What you gonna do when they come for you? Bad boys. And then I stuffed my face with popcorn.
Hello! Guess what? What? You're on time. You didn't forget. Is that the thing? Otherwise, I want to know what other thing.
Yes, what? What?
That was almost R2D2 sound. Yeah. Yes, how are you doing? That's a great question, Apple. Incredible, am I right? You know, right? Oh, yeah, that's fair. I guess I was correct.
Guess what? She is here.
I love that she still has the purple.
Hell yeah. Hey!
That's
but,
why the purple squish.
Guess what? But that's what.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hell yeah.
Very happy. But yeah, should we just go?
I think so. We do have a summary before we start, so.
Okay.
Yes, I know. We have some time to still chat a little bit before
True.
the thing actually starts.
True.
In our second story stream, our small party traveled the last leg of the way to Tarlin. Arriving there, Idas was immediately called upon to help the villagers with the train. Imps had drained the crystals and made part of the carriage crash with a lack of magic. Idas showed her skill in Imagineering, and soon after they set out to look for the imps that had caused the ruckus. There they found their new friend, Velotina, whom they saved from the grabbing hands of the imps. The next day they even found some time to get provisions and went on their first hunt for the imps. Not far out of town, at a ravaged farm, they captured another, and as thanks for the help, the lady of the house handed them a new crystal. Sadly, when they returned to the workshop, it turned out that it has been ransacked by a burglar.
Yes.
Problematic.
Yes.
Push the size of your chat text.
I think I did that last time, but then we updated.
Likely.
You scroll down. And then set font size, yes. Let's make that, I don't know, 20. As such.
Very big.
Set font size. Let's make that, I don't know, 16. That is better.
That is good. What?
Okay, got it.
Your
I
own
know
chat
my own
rules.
rules.
Damn. You never chat for yourself?
No.
Oh.
Well, yes, actually, every time. /raid.
Yeah.
But it's updated.
It's the update.
Yeah.
As you may have heard us raving about it now twice, OBS updated.
Yes.
And it looks new.
It looks okay. It's just not all functional for me.
Everything is wide.
Yes. All the margins are huge.
Yes. So everything now is space to breathe and mess up your order.
There is even more scroll than I need to scroll more in certain parts.
That is the reason why our mic was muted at start, because we needed to scroll down for unmuting the mic. So, yeah, that's a thing.
I'm very proud that was going one go.
Yeah, right.
Didn't even have to move.
Tired of the yard working groceries.
Yeah.
Well, you did things.
Well done on doing the thing.
Yes. It doesn't matter what things you do, as long as you plan to do things and you did the things. Well done.
I also did things. I made a full English. Well, I made a half English breakfast.
I also did things. I ate that breakfast.
You did things. You helped Stefan a lot.
I did, yes. I helped Stefan with 3D drawing and measuring things for his RC car hobby, and it was pretty cool. I like it. It's fun.
Meanwhile, he was going to help me sort my magic cards, and then I did all of them before they even finished doing the thing.
Yes, and then when you're done, we were still doing that.
Yeah. Pretty much the same, except for the helping. You did help your Pokemon further. You did things.
You helped keeping company.
Yes. Yes, very much so. Did you hear me say that? Because I actually said that to her. That we were doing like parallel play is what they call it in autism world. It's like you do your own thing
next to
each other,
doing
their own thing, and then you're content just doing the thing. And I was happy that she was actually sitting at the table with me because it felt more inclusive.
Yes.
Less alone. But I literally told her that as you guys were working on the thing, and I wouldn't have been surprised if you actually heard me.
I didn't really realize, I guess.
That's fair. You also did eat the breakfast, yes.
Yes. So only eating. No. Not only eating.
But eating is good.
Eating was part of it. That was a task on your checklist. You did it. So did we. Well done. You did it.
Gosh darn dang did it.
Bless you.
Yeah. That was the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Eating was very good, yes.
Yes, definitely. Enough about food. More story.
I was going to say that.
Apple was the quality assurance person.
And he was the trash can.
What do you mean?
You ate everything that was left. Just like yesterday with the macaroni, you ate almost everything that was left up until you were full.
So, Guy had one plate,
Yes.
and I went for seconds, and then thirds.
I still hadn't finished my plate.
And by the time I came back with the fourth,
I was finally done.
was halfway with the fourth plate, she was done.
Yes. With my first plate.
With the first plate, and that was also the only one that she had.
Yes.
And this morning, I don't know how I got to tomorrow, but either way.
If you want to stay until tomorrow, that's fine. It's going to be difficult with her work. But
It's also going to be difficult with my appointment.
yes.
This morning, I asked, are you going to have seconds?
No.
And,
Don't.
yeah, that was the moment I just, okay, well, that's good. Then I grabbed one pan, and I grabbed the next, and I grabbed the beans.
Apple was nicely in between with 3 plates. She had my seconds and 7 seconds.
Yes. And not her own.
Not her.
I had those. All right, are we ready?
Yes.
Is everybody ready? Is everybody excited?
I say yes, but this is going to be so much.
Yes, good luck.
Ready? You can actually do the thing now, Apple.
Yes,
You're my
do the
moderator
thing.
now. You can
Do the thing. You want to be helpful? Onwards the story instead of onwards the glory. I like that. That's nice. Onwards the story.
Do the thing.
You want to be helpful? Do the thing.
Do it.
Exclamation point ready. Let's go.
No, really.
Putting her on the spot. There we go.
No, I wasn't being sure. Like, how did I do it again? Oh, right. Thank you.
All right, let's go.
Let's go. Chapter 7. Walking into the ravaged workshop, Idas couldn't hold back her tears anymore. The small droplets dried on her cheek from the night's wind through the broken window. I can't believe it. Who would do this to me? She put her hands on the side of her crate.
Let us assess the situation for you first. With the door being locked and the windows broken, it is safe to assume that the perpetrator made the window their entrance and likely their exit as well.
What would they be interested in? Well, we could see if there's anything missing. There are so many different things in here that anyone could want. Ida started running around the room from crate to crate. Well, what if they got something and made a weapon out of it? They'll use it for evil, and I'll get the blame since it's my technology. She started to hyperventilate. Zenith hurried herself to Ida's side. Take a breath. We'll find what they took, but try to calm down first. You're the only one that knows what items are in the workshop. She gently put her hands on Ida's shoulder, showing she was there for her. You're right. I'm fine. We gotta start looking. Ida's breath was corrected immediately. Is it okay if I sit down for a second? Using my magic really tuckered me out. Valentina dropped down into one of the chairs, and before anyone could argue, she was fast asleep. It's 3 a.m. Shouldn't we start looking when we have some sunlight? Delira asked, also looking very tired.
If we have any chance of catching this person, we should report to the authorities as soon as we can.
And I want them caught, and my stuff back, as soon as possible. Let's clean up this mess. While we clean, I'd ask and see what is missing. The box! It's gone! I know I put it right there. Of course they stole that one. It's very important. Idas ran over to the kitchen counter, looking up at one of the cabinets.
What did it contain?
It was filled with magical crystals. Powered ones, mostly. You mean like that one? Delira pointed at one on the ground. Yes, likely. They should be everywhere in this workshop. No, silly. There, outside. Delira pointed out the broken window. Let's see if they dropped any more. Zenith said, exiting the shop. Automatically, she immediately jumped up into the air and flew towards the side of the building that had the window. She picked the crystal up, and it felt cool in her hand. Can you see any more? Ida shouted as she ran after her.
You can't leave her sleeping here. Someone will have to stay behind.
Lachlan said out the window. I'll stay. I don't think I can run that much anymore. You look more awake still.
I'm not sure I can go much farther either. I'm rather knackered myself.
Then you defend the fort. Z and I can handle this little excursion. Idas winked at Lachlan and ran after Zenith. Zenith flew ahead of Idas, looking for anything that might show them in what direction the thief had gone. Should I slow down? She asked, circling back for a moment. Nah, I want clues as fast as possible. I'll be looking around as well. Idas looked serious. She used her own wings to get around, but instead of flying, she used them to make big leaps, making her a lot faster than walking. Zenith's flying speed, however, was much higher. Zenith nodded and hurried forward again. She flew low above the buildings, trying to see anyone with a crate, like the one Idas had described. Suddenly, she saw a man run from the shadows to a building near where Idas was. It was like he was trying to hide from her specifically. She swooped down. Around that corner, she yelled to Idas. She leaped forwards to the corner of the figure behind the... Idas leaped forwards to corner the figure behind the building and landed in front of them. The person looked behind them when they saw Zenith land. Flaming orange hair swung around, looking at both ladies coming in closer. It was a man, a little older than they were, with ginger hair and an equally orange, scruffy beard.
What? How?
He muttered. Oh, I'm just going to do that. Oh, yeah, he muttered with a low, gruffy voice.
Never mind.
He tried to run past Idas, pushing her to the side as he barreled through, making her face narrowly miss the corner of the building. He seems to be a lot heavier than he looks. Let's follow after him, she said to Zenith, coming to her aid. Helping Idas had given the man a head start. His strange red skin would glow purple in the glow of their lanterns in the street. Scales, Zenith realized. The man had scales for skin. Before she could think of the fact that she could gain on him by flying, he turned a corner in the far distance. She leaped into the air and stretched her wings out wide. Just before she rounded the corner, Idas hot on heels, a long red dragon shot into the air, right in front of her. Its tail, adorned with long blue spikes, hit her on one of the outstretched wings, making her tumble down to the ground and land, unfortunately. What in the world was that guy? Are you okay? Idas landed close to Zenith and inspected her damaged wing. 2 of the large spikes had penetrated the membrane of her wing. Zenith's face was distorted in pain, and trickles of blood pooled beneath her wing. It'll heal, she muttered, clearly in pain. I don't know what he was, but by his reaction I'm fairly sure that he did steal your things. I just don't understand where they went. Let's try to stop the bleeding for now. Then we can have Valentina look at it back at the workshop, Ida said, worried, rummaging through her pouch for the cleanest rag she had. I'll find him. I will get my stuff back. It'll be closed tomorrow. It's okay, she muttered, trying to get up from the ground. Valentina has done so much today. We can't force her to always heal everything. I guess you're right, but you're in pain, and I want you to be in pain. Zenith looked at Idas and gave her a smile that ended in a wince. Thank you. It's all right. Let's get back to the shop. Then I can meditate or rest. There was a large rip in her cargo jeans, and her wraparound tank top was dusty from the road. Can I lean on you a little? I think I also sprained my ankle when I landed. Of course. Yeah, no problem. Ida stepped closer and pulled Zenith's arm around her neck. Slowly, they walked back to the workshop, beaten and bruised. When Ida followed Zenith out, Lachlan slowly started clearing some of the metal pieces and putting them all together on the table. Delira grabbed everything she could find that was broken and put it in a wooden crate. Do you think she'll be able to fix these pieces? She asked, showing them to Lachlan.
I reckon we might as well keep it. I've seen her making things out of this rubbish ever since we met.
Lachlan shrugged, tossing parts of her robotic arm into a crate. It's rather impressive. Delira admitted while gathering more broken pieces. They worked in a short silence until Valentina made a soft sound in her sleep. Maybe we should make her sleeping place ready first. Clear off all the debris. She has done so much already today. Delira said softly, pointing at the places they had made ready earlier for everyone to sleep.
You're right. And we should also make some space for Idas and Zenith for when they come back.
He grabbed the blanket to use as a mattress and placed it in arm's reach, while he started dusting away bigger chunks to place the blanket flat. Delira took it upon herself to clear Idas's bed. She took away all the chunks and pieces, but ended up grabbing the top blanket and walking it over to the door of the workshop. She tried to shake it out, struggling to get her arm high enough to keep the blanket off the floor.
Shall I help you?
No, I can do this myself, she responded, clearly struggling with the large fabric.
We can spread it out wider together,
Lachlan said in a soft tone. I don't, she muttered, but then she looked up in Lachlan's eyes and saw mere friendliness. Her shoulders sagged. Yeah, together sounds good. Lachlan grabbed the corner from Delira and walked backwards the length of the blanket, making sure that there wasn't any debris on it anymore. When he handed her the other corner back, she muttered a thank you and walked back to Ida's bed. She made the bed again and helped with the rest of the cleaning of the ground spaces they had reserved for sleeping. Zenith, usually so light on her feet, almost flying away at the best of times, leaned heavily on Ida's shoulders. Ida's was a fair bit shorter than her, but they made it work. I'm sorry. I don't want to burden you too much. You've only just recovered yourself. A little bump like that won't keep me down. Ow. Ida's tried to keep her pace equal to Zenith's. Are you alright? Am I fine? Are you fine? I can do this all day. I wonder how far away from home we are. Ida's looked in the distance at the backs of some houses. I wish we could have caught up to him. The crate was full of magic crystals. Definitely a year's supply. And to think that he would come for seconds. Can you believe that? I felt better. But what do you mean, seconds? Well, he wasn't carrying the crate. We would have seen it. So he must have gone to his hidey hole and come back. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been so close to the workshop again. Ida stepped in closer to support Zenith's side a bit better. Oh, I didn't think of that. Will you be able to replace the crystals? Is the one we got from the lady safe? She asked, gratefully leaning into Ida's support. I have it with me still. You couldn't get to it. When we get back, I'll put it in the strong box. That box is cemented in the wall, and only I know the way to open it. It should be safe and sound. The crystals themselves are going to be a little more tricky, though. It was quite the collection. We may want to put any other valuables in there, too. Maybe we'll find the thief again. He had a really interesting skin. Zenith breathed out harshly. Her damaged wing was dragging down. The lower tips, usually a good 20 centimeters off the ground, slid along it. Is it still far away? She muttered, her words drawn out and slow. I really need to meditate. We should be almost there. Past these couple of houses, I believe. You can lean your wing on me for the rest of the walk. Ida's gently pulled the wing up off the ground and onto her shoulder. Zenith let her wing rest on Ida's shoulder and leaned in heavily. My brother told me that wounds needed meditating, but I've never felt this. I guess this is tired. It's different from when I crossed while flying at home. It feels heavier here. What kind of person was your brother? I've heard you talk about him a couple times. He seems cool. Oh, he's the best big brother. I had to miss him quite a while when he was on his own quest. But when he got back, he told me amazing stories. He let me show him all of our gardens and we could talk for hours, she said, livening up a bit. Well, to be honest, I did most of the talking. They reached the familiar building just before she finished the last sentence. That sounds really cool. I was mostly alone growing up too. I tried making friends with people, but over time everyone found my jokes annoying. Here we are, back at the workshop. Can you stand on your own for a while I open the door, or should I help you sit down for a second? I'm okay to stand here, she said, hopping towards the wall for support. Her wing immediately drooped down again. It felt too heavy to keep up. I haven't disliked anything you said, Zenith said, just before Ida's opened the shop. I'm not sure if I would understand jokes well, though. Ida's placed her hand on the door handle. Thank you, sis, she muttered and opened the door. Chapter end. More.
Finally, time to take a sip here after so many damn words. Goddamn, it's impressive. Yeah. I mean, to be
Thank you.
to be real, it is impressive.
I'm happy that the voice for Ida started to come more naturally. I still mess up the name every now and then.
A woo squish. And the squish squish. I will.
Yeah.
I need to just lie in this chair to be.
So your normal state of being.
Oh God.
Should you help?
Oh,
I think that person also.
Oh, my spine.
Absolutely stellar. Yes.
There we go. Just don't put it on your head.
I hope in this case you do remember what she did, helping the people and helping Idas with her broken ribs. Because that was last stream. So, did you guys like it? Stretch. Oh, that does sound pretty. Nope.
Ugh.
You keep it on yours. There's more table space. Good. I'm glad.
Yes, that's right. It's such a good person.
Knowing what's to come, I might as well take another sip. There's not a lot for him this time.
No.
You're here for aesthetic reasons.
So I didn't realize again that the color was my color.
Yeah, I noticed.
I think we need to change that to a color that is more
I'll try
akin to my.
One lighter purple.
Yeah, I think that's good. It's quite a red purple,
Mm.
so it does look like a red that you would use. But yeah, a new character.
Yeah.
And a whole 4 words.
Yeah. At least you also had Lachlan's words, and you're gonna have more of Lachlan's words.
Yeah.
Yes, helping is very tiring.
Oh,
Especially expending your magical reserves. That is very tiring. Magic. Also, yes, magic.
Mexico. Watermelon.
I knew you were gonna do that.
Of course.
Shall we continue?
Anytime anyone says watermelon, you have to answer with watermelon.
My brain does it. I don't say it, but my brain does it.
If at any point anyone says, let's go, you immediately answer with kneecaps.
Oh no, in my brain that goes to, let's go! Yes. Almost.
No space.
Very, very close. Very excited. Shall we?
Yes.
Chapter 8. The door slowly creaked open. Lachlan and Delira silently put the objects they were holding onto the floor and took up a fighting stance, prepared to ambush the intruder.
Idas, why are you sneaking into your own place? We thought you were the perpetrator from before.
Man, I don't know. I try not to wake you guys. Could you help with Zia? Could you help Zia inside? She's in quite bad shape. So, she's in quite a bad shape. Thanks. Idas pointed over her shoulder at Zenith, who was slumped against one of the support beams outside. Lachlan immediately rushed outside to find Zenith swaying on her feet. I'm fine. I just need to meditate. She slurred her words. The wound, despite having been tended to, still trickled blood. We made a little space for you for when you'd return. Valentina has been passed out since we got back from the farmer's couple. Lachlan pulled Zenith's arm over his shoulder. Being slightly taller as she was, he held her up easily. They walked over to the space Delira indicated and he led her down slowly. Gently, Zenith lay down on her stomach to spare her wing and pulled her wings into a comfortable position onto her shoulders. I'm going to meditate. I'll be out for a while, she muttered, slurring her words even more. Take as much time as you need. I think we all should. We lost the thief. I'll probably never see those crystals again, and I'm knackered. I suggest you two also take a rest. Ida threw herself on the bed.
The dawn is approaching already,
Lachlan said, pulling the curtains closed, trying to block out the morning light. I think enough has happened. You deserve a day of rest, Delira said, settling into her own little nook. Ida's deepening breath was the only answer they got before they also fell asleep. It wasn't until just after midday, that's a lot of big words, it wasn't until just after midday that most of them woke up. Lachlan's stomach growling softly was the first sound they heard all morning. Quietly getting up, he sneaked his way into the kitchenette. He grabbed a pan and put it on the stove. Mere minutes later, the others were woken up by the smell of eggs and bacon slowly sputtering away in the pan. Valentina was the first one to join him there and sniffed the air deeply. I love bacon, she muttered. She looked around at the others and noticed that Zenith was laying on her blanket still. Is she all right? She asked, taking a few steps towards Zenith. She said she would be okay after meditating. I think waiting until she's awake and asking her then would be better, Ida said from underneath her blanket.
So, are you going to tell us what happened last night? You two came in knackered and dove into oblivion within minutes. What caused that wound on Zena's wing?
Lachlan asked, still gently poking at the bacon to prevent it from sticking. We found the thief, but he got away. He ran into town, so we followed him, cornered him behind a building. And then he just charged right through me like I wasn't even there. Here's the weird part, though. That man turned into a dragon and smashed his tail into Zenith. It's a wonder that she has this little damage. It could have been way worse. Ida's made big gestures, swinging her arms while talking. A dragon? An actual dragon? What did it look like? How did it transform? What color was it? Valentina asked excitedly. Yes, an actual dragon. Large. By stretching its limbs, I guess. It was sort of purple. I'm sorry, I wasn't paying more attention in the moonlight when our friend got smacked out of the sky by a literal dragon. Ida's kind of back her yelling. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to yell. There was just too many things going on to keep track of at the time. On top of that, I didn't get my crystals back, which took me several years to collect. Sorry. I got a little carried away. I've never seen a dragon before. It was very big. It has a long, slender body and a nasty, spiky tail. I didn't pay attention to much else. By the time I saw it, it had struck down Zenith. Idas looked at the floor, recounting the scene at the plate that night. Valentina nodded appreciatively. In the meantime, Lachlan had prepared several plates of bacon and eggs.
I have breakfast ready.
Should we wake Zenith for the food? She was very tired. We could try to wake her a little. Ask if she wants anything, or to let her sleep longer, maybe. I'd get up for bacon and eggs, no matter how tired I am.
She mentioned not really needing to eat. If she said she needed to meditate, perhaps we should leave her for now.
You're probably right. Let's let her sleep for as long as she needs to. Afterwards, I could ask her if she wants me to heal the wounds properly. Valentina went to sit at the table and started eating her breakfast. The others also gathered around the table and picked up their plates. Bless you. I don't actually eat meat. Can I divide this amongst you all? Delira asked, pointing at the bacon on her plate. Heck yeah! More for us! Idas eagerly put her plate beside Delira's. Delira divided it up neatly between the others, and they all started eating after that. All through the afternoon, as Idas directed the others, they cleaned the rest of the workshop back up. Zenith slowly came to, just as Delira and Lachlan stepped into the kitchenette to make dinner. Where? What? She muttered as she pushed herself off the ground, disoriented. Don't worry about it. Hey there, sleepyhead. You feeling any better? Idas asked, aside from her spot at the table. Zenith slowly got to her feet and wobbled over to one of the 3 chairs. Idas's chairs, Zenith had noticed, were designed specifically for wings. She could fold them around the chair easily. I'm a little dizzy. I don't think I've ever meditated for that long before. As her memory started to return, she pulled her wing forward to inspect the wound. The tissue had knit itself back together, but it was a lot lighter and felt raw. It hadn't healed completely. It looks a lot better than last night. You really do heal fast, Ida's leaned forward on her elbows. Is that Zenith? Is she awake? Valentina ran in from the kitchenette. I'm okay, she muttered, putting her hands up. Oh, I'm glad you're okay. How's the wound? Would you need me to heal it for you? It's already closed. I'm alright. Thank you for the offer. She stretched her wing to show the wound off, but winced when she felt it sting. I can see that you're strong. I asked Idas before, but did you see anything of the dragon? Can you describe it? Valentina started rattling again, scrambling for her notebook. I didn't see everything. It was fast. Valentina, I know you're excited, but you only just woke up, Delira reasoned from the kitchen. You're right. Sorry. I got so excited over it. I'll let you wake up a little more. Valentina left with a friendly smile as she dashed back into the kitchenette.
Would you like to eat something too?
Lachlan asked, making eye contact with Zenith.
Food might give you some energy as well.
I can give it a try. I won't really need much, she answered, and then looked over to Idas. Did you get some rest? Are you okay? Fine as ever. Like nothing happened. I only got a bruise from landing on the ground, but that should heal soon enough. She looked over at some of the crates. Searching through, she pulled out several random bits and put them on the table. When she amassed a little hill, she sat back down and went to put them together. Did the intruder leave any of the empty crystals? I could charge those for you, Valentina offered, hopping back and forth from the kitchen with plates and cutlery. They should all be in that box over there, if any. It would be really useful if you could charge them. It would speed up getting my collection back significantly. Idas pointed at a box on top of one of the bookshelves. Idas's bookshelves, much like most of her workspace, were a mess. Books about machinery covered in grease, dog-eared from front to back. Half of the shelves were repurposed to store more scrap technology. Valentina grabbed the entire box and walked it over to where they were. 5 larger and 3 smaller crystals were hidden between the other contents of the box. I can do one every day or so, I think, she said, picking up one of the larger ones. I could actually use one of those minty green ones, so that could be amazing if you could do that. Idas pointed at an ocean teal crystal about the size of Valentina's palm. Minty green? It's more blue than anything. Valentina looked intrigued to the glass-like rock in her hand. What does that one do? It's a crystal powered with wind magic. It powers machines to launch certain objects. Machines like blasters and stuff. Idas pointed at the pile of metal in front of her. Cool, Zenith muttered under her breath.
I would like to ask you ladies to clear the table, at least a bit. It may be a simple meal, but I'm ready to serve it.
But I just got all my things! Man! Only because it's for food, alright? Idas grabbed as many parts as her arms would carry and threw them onto her bed. Valentina put the box aside and divided up the plates and cutlery for everyone. Lachlan and Delira walked up to the table, both with 2 dishes in hand. Lachlan had pieces of meat and a bowl of cooked grains, while Delira carried a bowl of steamed vegetables and a bowl of mixed salad. It wasn't long before everyone had scooped their plates full with dinner. Even Zenith put a bite of everything on her plate, but since she didn't need it, she only grabbed a little bit of everything. Where did you learn to cook like this? Valentina asked, diving into her food.
For long, it has been a hobby of mine. It gives a sense of joy seeing the delighted faces of people eating good food, and I try to seek that satisfaction too.
Well, this food definitely makes me happy, Valentina said, grabbing another bite off her plate. Zenith tentatively ate her first bite of a vegetable she had never had before. It tasted good to her, but there was nothing she could compare it to. I like it, she said, looking up at Lachlan and Delira.
I'm glad to hear you both enjoy it. I would be happy to continue cooking for you all.
This is amazing, Ida said with her mouth full, trying to shove in even more. Could you teach me? Zenith asked, suddenly excited. I want to learn more about this place, and food is a good place to start.
Anytime, love, anytime.
Lachlan said, equally excited. Hey, Valentina, I know you wanted to know more about the dragon. I may not have seen him well, but I can try to recount what I did, Zenith said, softly touching her elbow to Valentina's. Yes, please. I'll grab my notebook right away. Valentina jumped up. As she hurried off, Zenith finished a little bit of food she had grabbed. She had saved the meat for last. This is a strange texture, she said, pulling her face. It tastes alright, but does it always feel this way?
Hard to say. There's many different types of meat. Same with all other types of food. It will always be slightly different.
Well, I think I prefer the vegetables in this case, she said, dismissing the last few bites of meat on her plate.
Wonderful to know. Always easier to cook for several vegetarians than one. Either way, I would love to keep cooking for any of your tastes.
Valentina bounced back towards the table excitedly with her notebook at the ready. Please tell me everything you remember. Well, the most distinguishing feature was his skin. It was bright red as a dragon. He was very long and had a spiky tail. He had a lot of orange on his back. I think those were spikes too. As a human, I could still see his red skin, and he definitely had a bright orange mohawk. Wow, you remember so much more. I only remember me getting pushed and you getting bashed by the tail. Idas pointed at Zenith with her fork. I've never seen anyone with that skin before, and I got rather close. Fascinating. I've never recorded any of these features in my notes. It's unlike anything I've ever heard of. Valentina gawked at the data written down. I hope we'll find him again so we can make him give the crystals back. With a skin like that, we should be able to find him. Zenith looked over at Idas with a small, encouraging smile. I think we can get them back. Thanks for the encouragement, Z. I really appreciate that. It's been a bad blow losing those crystals, but as long as we have hope getting them back, I'll hold out.
Well, good thing we'll be traveling all over the place to find imps everywhere. Let's leave the talk for tomorrow. I want to know more about you ladies. You know my weakness is food now, so what are your interests and hobbies?
His eyes first landed on the lyra. I want to find out about my people. I made some headway in the dig site when we met.
I think, since the imps were imprisoned by them first, we'll learn more about them in our travels.
Lachlan answered with a charming smile. Learning about your heritage is really interesting. Back home I read all the books about of our own heritage, Zenith said, and then she admitted, I love reading. Her eyes flitted towards Idas, questioning. Oh, my hobbies? I don't know. I mean, we're kind of sitting in it right now. Tinkering is my hobby. I used to travel far and wide to fix different machines for people when my dad was still around. It has calmed down since those days. People don't seem to trust me as much as they did my old man. I inherited this family business when he passed away. I'm the last member of my family, as far as I know. I'm used to fidgeting with machines since I was a child. I'd consider my job my hobby.
Doing what you love and loving what you do. It's the ultimate pastime,
Lachlan said, nodding agreeably. His eyes went to Valentina, the last one to speak up. I love knowing about any type of creature, she said, looking down at her beloved notebook. But I also prefer being amongst animals most of the time. They have such a straightforward way of being and communicating. I don't always understand all social cues.
Apart from hunting these imps and trying to save people from their chaos, it sounds like we all feel this need to travel the world. Seems almost destined, wouldn't you say?
Lachlan laughed, looking around the group. They all agreed silently. I think I want to work out this information a little bit. Do you guys mind? Valentina asked, still not looking away from her notebook. I don't mind.
No problem. I was going to clean up a little and relax before we head out on the road again.
Hey, Z, since you like reading so much, I have a few in that bookshelf you could grab. Most of the ones that don't mention machines aren't covered in grease as much. On the top shelf there should be some actual story stuff instead of textbooks. Zena's eyes lit up and she got up from the table. Oh, I could help with the dishes first, she said, picking up her plate and started for the kitchen.
No need. It'll be done in a jiffy. Go grab yourself a book.
Lachlan winked at her and took the plates from her hand. Delira, not as easily deterred, started helping him clear the table. I'll help you, and then get some rest too. If we want to hunt again tomorrow, I'll need a bit better sleep than the few hours I had this morning. Zenith almost flew over to the bookcase and found her book to read. She sat down on her makeshift bed and got lost in the story within minutes. Idas didn't say what she intended to do, but the moment she walked over to her bed, they knew she would be tinkering with the parts she had grabbed before dinner. Lachlan and Delira cleaned the dishes in a comfortable silence. The evening was calm, and at a reasonable time, everyone but Zenith went to sleep. Idas offered her a small little light she could hold, so the others could get some rest. She took it gladly and proceeded to read the entire book that night. Simple.
It's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. It's a watermelon. Inside a watermelon. God. Thank you, Vine.
So, could you say, guess you could say that was a bad dragon. Tia.
He's a dragon.
Actually, it's turquoise.
Yes.
Teal.
Actually, Ida's is colorblind. And yes, that is actually a part of her character, is that she doesn't discern colors very well. If she says something is minty green, take it with a grain of salt, and it is actually green, it might just be blue.
Checks out. That checks out. So, you guys like it? Vigorous typing over there. More. 4 letters. More.
Vigorously
No,
typing.
taking away what she was typing. More.
Vigorously typing more.
There's the more.
So let's go.
Almost. No rush.
A little overzealous.
I need to be able to actually do the words because there's going to be even more me. Don't worry about it. We like your enthusiasm. Don't worry about it.
Absolutely. But yeah, how do you guys like this chapter and the last one?
It's a little bit more about the characters instead of just everything happening at once.
Yeah, that is kind of what we tried. It's of course it's an ongoing process how we write, and every story is going to be a little different because we get more experience from writing and we know more about how things should flow. You just keep thinking.
You take that one.
Yes,
please.
I will.
Okay.
I will do that after.
Okay.
That we had one chapter that is just talking. We had one chapter that was a lot of action, and that switched up a couple times. And now we had I think 2 chapters in a row, or maybe even 3, that was all out. Everything was chaos.
Yeah, a lot of it.
A lot of it was moving and doing
Not every
things.
paragraph, but definitely something in every chapter.
Exactly. And now it's like these 2 chapters have been fairly calm and nothing is gonna happen yet.
Yeah.
In these 2 there was there was
The beginning was
there was the attack with
the dragon.
The dragon.
It's about to spoil it.
Yeah, I had to think about to make sure that I didn't say the name.
Yeah.
But yeah, the dragon, I guess, is the closest thing to an action scene.
Yeah.
Because we kind of write in action scene and dialogue scene. There's a big difference between them. One is more talking, one is more narrate.
Basically, a lot of the ones that are very action-based are the ones that he takes the lead on.
Yeah.
And the ones that are mostly talking are me taking the lead.
Yep.
Okay, now I get you with the sass.
Oh yeah. like that is that's your daily intake of sass.
Yes.
Don't take too much sass. It's bad for your kidneys. Oh, that's salt.
I was gonna say it's very similar to salt then. I'm innocent, yeah. Sure.
I don't know what you're talking about.
To be fair, we were just as bad before to you.
Yeah. Yeah, usually I deal with one of you at a time.
You shouldn't ask stupid questions if you don't want the stupid answer. And we gave you the stupid answer.
Well, I only ask stupid questions.
Well, then that's your problem.
Nah, that's your problem. You have to deal with it.
We combined our powers, yeah.
I got thoroughly sassed just now. A little bit ago. Like an hour, I think. An hour. No, 2 hours.
Like, right after you were like, was this really necessary? And both of us went like, yes.
Yeah. Immediately. No.
Also, the thing we answered, I don't remember what it was, otherwise I would have led with that. But the thing we answered, she answered in Dutch and I answered in English, and it was the same sentence.
Yep.
Poor Holy. No. He can deal with it. It was when let's Arboneer. Just drop it there. It's fine.
Even though I didn't actually drop something.
It fell to the floor.
It was my phone that fell out of my pocket because I have very shitty pockets in the pants that I was wearing. Not in these though. These are fine.
Yeah, that's fine. I have to sing between this or my joggers.
Like sweatpants.
Yeah.
And the pockets on that are just very terrible. They are shallow and sideways.
Yeah.
So I sat in a way. I moved my leg and that's my phone on the floor.
Yeah.
Fine. Sweatpants pockets suck. Yeah. Very much.
It's fair. But yeah, that I'm glad you remembered. Usually I'm the one that remembers everything. But it's true. It's fair. And we laughed a very long time.
Yes.
Not as long as yesterday, though.
Oh, God. Playing What Do You Mean? With 7 here as well. 4 of us. It was chaos. It was so funny. We played, basically we played What Do You Mean? The opposite way the game intended to. Usually you have a hand of text cards that you need to react to an image.
Yes.
We played it the other way around, where you have reaction images to a text. It goes a lot faster, and in my opinion is a lot more fun.
It's a lot of fun.
So then you get like the prompt, and you need to react with an image. And
I should have made a picture of Seven's prompts because I don't remember the prompts. I just remember his reaction to it.
Oh, that was the vibrator dying
out. Yeah.
That was a text prompt that was like, when you're about to nut, but the vibrator runs out of battery. In some sense, I think that.
We're about to, basically.
I don't know the exact.
No, I think that's basically phrasing. When you're about to.
Yeah.
Nut. Yeah. Then. And your vibrator dies out.
Yeah.
All 3 of us gave an image, and my image was someone laying on the floor outside, and it was raining.
Crying in the rain.
And it looked really sad, so my brain went like, oh, it's just a sad picture. And Seven went, you're soaked! And he's not.
He wanted to say more, but he choked on his popcorn, which made his soaked even more powerful.
And we all started laughing.
And we just broke.
And we didn't stop for like 10 minutes. It was stupid.
It was so funny. You had such a hard time breathing.
I mean, every time I would look up, I saw you still laughing, and then I just kept going. So I just not look at anything. Couldn't breathe. I was only laughing. It was super funny.
Fantastic.
But yeah, that was good. That was perfect.
A lot of these stories are like, you should have been there.
I think this still works for people, though.
Yeah.
Knowing that was a thing.
That was great. So stupid. Died on that popcorn.
Now, was that really popcorn? Yes.
Yes, that was really popcorn.
Yes.
That was really fucking funny. Breathe and drink something.
Yes.
And then
gonna do another sequence. Yes. Now you can do the thing.
Yes. Yay.
3, 2, 1. No space. There it is. Chapter 9. Before anyone else woke up,
Zenith finished her book and meditated for another hour, hoping her wing might heal more in the process. As she came out of her emptiness and quiet of her own mind, she awakened to Lachlan, sneaking around the workshop towards the doors.
Where are you going?
She asked softly, trying not to disturb the others. His shoulders tensed for the slightest moment before he turned to face her with a smile.
Out to grab some fresh bread for breakfast. Would you like to join me?
He whispered back, unbothered.
I'm sorry if I scared you.
Yeah, I'd like to come along. She stood up, placed her book on the table, and followed Lachlan out the front doors.
How's your wing doing? Is it healing a little faster yet?
Lachlan broke the silence of their morning stroll.
It's almost fully healed,
she said, moving the wing around her shoulders to the front to show him. There was only discoloration, but even that had become less over time. Eventually, nothing would be seen of the wound.
That's splendid news.
Lachlan had stopped to inspect the spot. As he gently touched the membrane on her wing, she shivered.
It's a little ticklish,
she admitted sheepishly. As they trotted onto the market, smells bombarded them from all angles. The loud criers advertising their wares created a cacophony of unintelligible noise, afraid to lose him in the business of the square. Zenith looped her arm through Lachlan's as he led her around the market. Unlike she expected, he didn't stop at the first stall that sold bread. They made a full loop across all of the market before he decided on one of the stalls. It was difficult to speak clearly with each other, with how many other people were talking and yelling around them, so they kept a comfortable silence. He got into the line of the baker, and he moved her hand up to his shoulder gently, so she could easily stand behind him.
I don't believe what's happened in Earth. They always boast about the police force, don't you know?
Zenith overheard a male standing next to her. He looked pristine, and his face was etched in arrogance. What happened? A lady, holding a lace parasol over her head, asked him.
Vandals are destroying property in broad daylight. If that police force is so good, why haven't they squashed it yet?
Zenith heard Lachlan asking the baker for fresh bread rolls and a large whole bread.
Vandalism?
The lady hummed disapprovingly. The male saw Zenith look at him curiously, and one of his eyebrows raised in question, while his face still exuded disgust.
Something up, little girl. Quit staring at me,
the man said, fully turning towards Zenith, making himself look as big as he could get. Zenith turned towards him, not letting go of Lachlan's shoulder.
I was just curious,
she said with a friendly smile.
Does my visit elude you, or did you overhear our conversation like some sort of snoop? I bet it was you, people like you, that went to Mirith. Criminal scum.
The man got slightly red in his face.
I'm sorry, sir. I didn't know it was rude,
she said calmly. Realizing she didn't understand the situation correctly, she gently squeezed Lachlan's shoulder, hoping he would notice.
One moment, Zenith. I'm almost done here. There. What seems to be the matter?
Lachlan turned around after he paid the baker and grabbed the bag they gave him.
I think I may have offended.
Offended? Do you think it's normal to stare at people, listen in on their conversation, and use this information for your petty crimes? I'm going to inform the police right away.
The man started walking away, but Lachlan grabbed him by the wrist.
I think you're jumping the gun a little, sir.
Lachlan's tone darkened.
There seemed to been a grave misunderstanding here. We have not done any crime. There is no need to get the police involved, unless you'd want to get the police involved, of course. But there won't be much left of you for the officers to serve.
Lachlan's eyes started glowing a faint yellow from beneath the shadows cast by his green hair.
Get your hands off of him,
the lady said, a bit taken aback. The man's self-important stance deflated a little bit. An angry look crossed his face, but he restrained himself.
Fine.
Good. Now let's move along. We wouldn't want any more trouble, would we?
Lachlan slowly let the man go and walked past them, Zenith following closely. Zenith looked up at Lachlan once, on their way back towards the workshop. He looked almost fancy in his linen shirt and woolen scarf. Only one look down at her torn pants and dirty tank top had her doubting.
Do I look like a criminal?
She asked softly a few streets away from the workshop.
Don't be silly. Not at all. The man was just scared, expressing himself in anger without valid reason.
Lachlan looked down and gave her a smile. She nodded at him and returned his smile. She knew she would have to relay the words the man had spoken, but she decided to wait until they were back at the workshop with everyone present. Zenith was quite sure that she had found their next search ground for some imps. Lachlan and Zenith walked back, her arm still looped through his. He opened the doors to the workshop for her to go in. He followed her in and casually strolled towards the kitchen. "Where have you guys been?" Valentina asked, already sitting at the table. Zenith looked around a little nervously, while Lachlan answered immediately.
"We went to get fresh bread rolls."
"Oh, yeah, fresh bread rolls!"
Ida threw her hands in the air from behind the pile of scrap parts. "How was the market? Went to some fun stalls?"
He showed me the entire market.
She sat down at the table as soon as the others also gathered there. "That doesn't sound very enthusiastic. Are you feeling alright?" Delira joined the conversation.
"I'm not sure. There was a situation and I don't know if I did anything wrong. This man was talking about vandalism in Mirat?
I think you mean Mirith. It's the big city to the west."
"Yeah, he was standing real close and I overheard, but the man got angry at me and I don't know what I did. The guy was probably just in a bad mood. I would be at a crowded market."
"Vandalism in Mirith. Doesn't sound good. Did you hear anything else about it?"
"He said that they hadn't found who did it yet, and the police aren't able to stop it. Oh, and it happens in broad daylight,"
she recalled. She looked at Delira apologetically. She wished she had more information for her friend.
Broad daylight, vandalism, no one can find out what caused it. Seems very familiar, doesn't it? I think we know who should go and handle this."
Lachlan said from the kitchen.
"Ghost hunters?"
"No, hun. Us. We should go. Sounds like more imps on the loose."
"How do we get there?"
Do we get to go there with the train? I'd like to see the train work."
She finally perked up a little, getting back to her bubbly self.
"The train would be the easiest. It should be running still after I fixed it last time, unless it's been tampered with again."
Ida stood up, put the half-completed mechanism into her pack along with some random bits from the pile and swung it across her shoulder.
"You ladies ready for a train ride?" "Yes, you too, Lachlan."
She winked at him.
"Ladies, I see how it is."
Lachlan stuck his tongue out, mocking Ida's comment. "Your hair does look fabulous."
"It better. I work on it every day. I'm a stylist. I love playing around with hair."
he admitted, running his fingers through Zenith's blonde locks as he passed her.
"But shouldn't you guys eat?"
Zenith asked, looking at the forgotten bread rolls in the kitchen.
"Certainly. We didn't just go just for the information from some rude individual."
"We could eat on the way, maybe. It'll be a bit of a walk to get to the train station anyway."
Ida grabbed the bag of rolls and stuffed it in her pouch. Delira and Valentina also got ready to go as Zenith walked over to Ida, fiddling nervously with her shirt.
"Can I ask you something?" "Anytime. What's up?"
"I don't know if it would fit or anything, but would you have a different pair of pants for me, maybe? These got damaged in my fall."
"Not sure if you'd fit any of my pants since you're taller, but I do have a skirt that I never wear. We gotta go clothing shopping in Merritt. There's a few nice shops there."
Ida went digging through her clothing dresser.
"I don't have any money. This is all I own."
She did a quick little twirl to show the clothes on her.
"I got you covered. No worries. You can learn from my books and help me around the shop to pay me back."
"Okay," Zenith agreed excitedly, bouncing up and down on the balls of her feet.
"Finally! See? I never wear it. It was buried deep underneath everything else."
Ida threw the skirt Zenith's way. Zenith caught it with ease and shot Ida a thankful glance. There was a restroom in the back of the workshop that everyone had been using to get changed in, so Zenith followed their example and changed her clothes in there. As soon as she was ready, they were all geared up and ready to go take the train. As the group was on its way to the train, they spoke casually.
"I wonder what it'll be like. I've never been on any vehicle,"
Zenith said excitedly as they turned the corner to see the station.
"I used to go place to place with my dad, fixing other people's things. There's not much to it. You jump on and take a seat and jump off at your exit."
Ida looked back at the group following her.
"Do you jump as it moves?"
Zenith asked with her eyes wide open. She contemplated.
"I could."
They reached the entrance to the station, and Ida led them inside.
The train stops there, silly. Jumping would be way too dangerous.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Zenith looked around the station. There was one platform with tracks on either side. She kept close to Idas, who seemed to know where to go. There's nothing to it. I've taken a train every now and then, if I have to travel long distances.
Most passengers of these trains don't have wings like you do, so they use this type of transport to get from location to location.
Idas confirmed Valentina's words.
Mine are nothing compared to some others. My brother's wings are almost twice as big as mine,
she said, her longing evident.
That's so cool. I wish I had stronger wings. I can only amplify my jumps. At least you have wings with which you can fly. Mine are too thin and don't carry my weight.
But jumping with them can be so useful. When you fly, there's a lot more room for error. Trust me, I've fallen more than I care to admit, Zenith said sheepishly.
Yeah, you're right. I should be happy with what I've been given.
Idas fluttered her wings. They went incredibly fast and made a humming sound like a bee the size of a person.
See that in the distance? Train is almost here.
She pointed at the fast approaching green and dark grey plated object, hovering over the track. I think they look really cool. As it stopped in front of them, Valentina went ahead and sought for a cabin where they could all sit together, while Idas led the others onto the train, talking about how it all functioned.
So, this train car is entirely made for cabins where people can sit. All the way in the front is the engine that provides the appropriate type of magical energy to the various functions throughout the vehicle, such as air magic to the bottom to glide, and fire to keep it at a nice temperature in the cabins. The engine runs on its own fuel, which is usually cheaper magic crystals to pull energy from to convert them to what the system requires. Does the magic need to be renewed often? Do they have to change the crystals out much?
Cabins. That gives a little bit of privacy. It's really nice.
He nodded approvingly.
Remember when I needed to fix the train? That was an instance of it running out of fuel completely, and since it was so empty, it couldn't reboot itself anymore. That issue doesn't come up very often, since refueling is done on a schedule at the station in the capital city. But sometimes it happens that the train gets stuck behind other things and needs to wait.
I don't think that was the issue last time.
Lachlan said as they took place in the cabin Valentina had found them. Wasn't that the fault of the imps?
Correct. Last time the train got its magical energy sapped, which could also run the fuel sources dry.
As soon as they were all seated, the train shocked slightly, earning a little yelp from Zenith. She had been trying to sit down comfortably. The chairs in the cabin weren't made for wings. It's almost not fair. My brother was granted the option to hide his wings with clothing. That made sitting down much easier. But this place has more people with wings, so I don't get that luxury.
Yeah, they should really do something about these chairs. So many different species use these vehicles, including some with wings like us now.
Did you help build these ones? You know a lot about them.
I only ever helped repairing, but I've read many books on their creation, and I could probably take one apart and put it back together again,
she said, a little proud of herself.
Maybe you could build one. I'd happily help you one day.
Shouldn't we focus on finding all those menacing imps running around first?
Well, having our own vehicle would make it easier to get around to all those imps, wouldn't it?
Ida smirked at Lachlan.
Also, you guys hear that hum? The train glides along the tracks with magic, and that hum is the loss of energy being used.
Can't argue there.
But how will we reach the villages that don't have a track then? Head to the closest town that does and walk the rest is usually the outcome. But there are a lot of tracks crossing the land. You could also make longer trips to different countries by train, but not one this size though. On bigger trains, these cabins have beds in them, and there are usually a lot more of them. Those trains also have entertainment on board. Entertainment? That must be a lot of books. Lots of books, but also a bar for people to drink their favorite ales, live music, and all sorts of things,
Ida said, slightly distracted. She had put the bag of bread rolls onto the little table in the cabin and was rummaging around her bag.
I need to write this down before we end up in Mirth,
she said, more to herself than the others. Lachlan divided the bread rolls amongst everyone and ate them, as Ida lost herself to the notes and drawings. And So everywhere I get lost, aside from the fact that all of the pink ones is him typing, everywhere I get lost in the amount of words and difficult words is usually him.
I use many more difficult words.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was all the voices you did. Splendid.
Woo, road trip! I think my voice for Idas has changed a little bit, but now I can manage it.
Yeah.
To just
that
pull
is
it up.
that is the important
I
thing.
can literally just go this way and it's fine.
And that is voice acting.
Yeah.
That is making a voice so you know which one to grab when you need it. And it's a direction that you put someone in. I'm not a voice actor. I'm an aspiring voice actor.
But you're definitely way more advanced than I am already.
You give me a direction, like, oh, I want a gruffy voice and I want it to be low. Okay. We go low. Is that low enough? Well, it could be a little higher. Okay. That's fine. The same with the voice for the dragon that I used. It's basically Baal's voice, but a little higher.
Yeah.
With Baal's voice, I just go as low as I can, drop everything, and add the growl. So you have the hey, and then you go a little higher, and you get this dragon's voice. That is definitely an outcome. As soon as you explain a voice to someone, they still need to fit it in their arsenal.
Yeah.
Where does this fit? And this sort of voice shape needs to be. We need to cut a corner there to make it fit.
Yeah.
That it doesn't always go in the square hole.
I think having a comfortable place for all of the regular text that she does, like explanations, like doing the cool, is not something you can do for the entirety of whatever she's doing. That is an exclamation.
That's an outburst.
That I can do once, and then I can't keep that voice fully for the rest of it.
But I can do this. That's
Yeah.
no problem.
And that is the voice.
Yeah.
That is the voice she has.
Yeah.
And that is also a way to associate different voices to different characters. Just what is Zerfar's voice? Why you tilt your head and you talk a little softer?
Yeah.
Oh, what is Lachlan's voice? Well, you drop a tiny bit. There you go. That's a little bit more hazy than my own personal voice.
Yeah.
That's how I do voices, and I think that's simple-ish for anyone to use their voice, because everybody has their own voice and many other voices.
It's really hard to find them, though. I had an issue the first few times with Idas, trying to get to a voice where I not only am comfortable, but I can actually keep it up.
Yeah.
And now I think I have actually managed to keep it up. I'm glad there's only one more voice coming in for me that is staying.
Yes.
There's two more for you. Well, one you just started doing 2-3 lines. Or 2-3 words.
4 words.
4 words. So
that was what? How? Never mind.
coolest thing is using a voice that is so different, but when you hear who's behind the voice, it's like, oh my god, it's them.
That is what happened to me with Liam O'Brien for the voice of War in Darksiders, for Asura and Asura's Wrath, and Vaxel Dan from Vox Machina, and with Mark Hamill. Mark Hamill's Joker. He is also in Darksiders.
He did a lot of voice acting.
Did a lot of voice acting, but also a lot of acting.
Yeah.
Well, not that much acting.
Well,
He's just very well known for what roles he played, and
fair.
that he is like nowhere else, and all of the rest is voice acting.
I mean, that's
Fantastic.
also mostly because of his face.
Yeah,
Now you associate him with that thing.
it's kind of like Daniel Radcliffe as well.
I was gonna say
that is
Elijah
Harry
Wood.
Potter. Elijah Wood very
Yeah,
much.
those
as well.
two have it horrendously, technically. I mean, in this case, you could also say Jensen Ackles and Jared Padalecki.
Damn it. Absolutely.
They are supernatural.
Yeah.
Like, you see them in anything, it's like, yeah, cool. But
That's Sam and Dean.
that's Sam and Dean Winchester, yeah.
That's just them.
She said I had that yesterday with Overwatch hero Torbjorn,
Torbjorn.
and Genshin Impact zombie.
Zombie and Torbjorn are the same guy?
Apparently.
Wow. Come get your armor!
Keith Silverstein.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Wow.
Cool.
That's cool. I like that.
Now, because I did have all of the lines.
Yes.
I do have a little bit of a headache, so I'm going to cut this one short, even though I do enjoy talking a lot.
I think that is
I think
fair.
that's the better choice for this time.
Yeah.
I don't want to have a
Chat.
huge headache at the end of the day. I don't know what chat means.
Basically a cool guy.
Oh, okay. That's fair then.
It can be taken in a couple of different ways. Being a chat is just being a presence.
Fair. Well, I did already check if I had anyone to raid. I don't.
Nope.
Not good enough. I don't. And I don't know if you saw who was actually streaming with me.
Gotcha.
Horror. So no.
We don't send our peeps to horror.
No,
That's
especially
very
not
simple.
after this fun thing. That's not okay.
Exactly.
So for this time, I'm going to say thank you guys so much for being here. You do your outro.
And with that, I want to thank you also very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed as much as we did. And with that,
See you next time.
see you next time. Bye-bye!